Whatever you guys wrote down, you're about to tell me about, because I'm about to ask you about. But first, okay, I want you to think about what you saw, what you see, what you thought about, and what you wrote down. And now I want you to consider this question. What if the setting, i.e. the setting, were a character? Have you ever heard the saying, if these walls could talk? So if these walls could talk, everything that happens inside those four walls, what would it see? What would they say? What could they tell you? They probably hold a lot of secrets. Thinking about that in this respect, if this setting were a character in the play, and technically it is, right? Because the younger family has to interact with this setting, and the setting tells us some things about the younger family. So for example, if this setting could talk, this setting, the couch might say, why is Travis using me for a bed? Why does Travis not have his own bed? Or it might say, the younger family has been through so much over these years. As I started to get worn out, they've tried to decorate me with like doilies and pillows, and notice how the furniture is artfully covering up probably spots or maybe worn parts in the rug. Maybe those are some of the things that the setting would say if it were a character. Okay, so what did you guys come up with as far as details? What did y'all see? Huh? You said they're middle class?
Yeah.
Okay, what makes you think they're middle class?
They own a house with a couch.
This is not a house, this is an apartment.
Apartment house.
A very tiny apartment.
They own a couch and they got a kitchen and bedroom and all that.
So you think that they're middle class?
It's like
And
lower middle class.
so like, this is the living room, and really, this dining area is really just like, the dining table just kind of stuck like right there in the middle. You think lower and middle class, all right? What else did you notice? It's crowded, because it's a very tiny living space, okay? And how many people live in that tiny living space? How many? Really? So we've got Mama, Walter, Ruth, Lena, Travis. Bobo doesn't live there. All right, 5 people. Imagine if you and your mom, your older sibling, and their spouse, and your niece or nephew lived in that space. 5 people. 5 people. If it were you, your mom, your older sibling, their spouse, and their kid.
Bro, I've lived in like
That's
6
5
people.
people. That's not shit.
It's not just 5 people. That 5 people setup is different if, let's say, it's like mom, dad, 3 siblings, okay? That is a different 5 people than mom, a husband and wife, their kid, and your grown sister.
That's not shit.
That's a lot of
That's
people
that's
in that little space.
It's a typical like Mexican household, to be honest.
This is not typical because they don't even have a bathroom in here.
Yeah,
I've seen people.
They don't have a bathroom in here. If they want to go to the bathroom, they have to go. There's a communal bathroom, right, for other people that live in the apartment complex or apartment building or whatever that is. Remember, because in the book, they're like at the beginning, the reason poor Travis has to get up so early is because he has to beat Mr. Johnson, who is somebody else that lives in, a neighbor or something, to the bathroom. They're all trying to beat the Johnsons to the bathroom because they share a bathroom. That is a very tiny space.
Not that bad.
Okay, take out the reading packet that I handed to you, which looks like this. Okay, so I wanted you guys to be able to envision like what this setting looks like. So this setting is basically just like the producer or maybe the actors, it's their interpretation of the setting that's in the book, all right? We're gonna actually go through this summary right here and compare like what we see to like the setting that's like written in the text, all right? We're just gonna popcorn read it, and we're gonna start with Amanda.
When can I look for the record?
After we get finished reading this, we may go. All right, Amanda, go ahead. First paragraph.
Oh. The younger family's living room, though intended to be a space of comfort and order,
Okay, it's marred by the inescapable realities of their life. What that means is like, it's scarred, or it's marked, right? Okay, keep going.
The furniture, once carefully chosen and arranged with love and hope, now bears the marks of years of use by too many people. The room's weariness is
Palpable.
palpable, with every item showing signs of overuse and age.
What is palpable? So basically what it's saying is that the weariness of that space is like, it's so thick you can feel it, okay? It's almost kind of like it just comes in and sits down next to you. All right, okay, pick the next person, Amanda. Giselle?
The couch, once adorned with beautiful patterns, is now hidden beneath layers of crochet dollies and couch covers, which have become more prominent than the original how do you say that?
Upholstery. The upholstery is like the fabric that was made, that the couch is made of. Or the fabric that's like in that chair, that's the upholstery.
Tables and chairs are strategically to conceal worn spots on the carpet, but the carpet's overall weariness is evident throughout the room.
All right, so it says, the carpet's overall weariness. So if we could see this up close, I bet there would be like worn spots here where the furniture is trying to cover up. Okay? What else about this space looks weary?
The wall.
The walls, what do the walls look like?
Stained.
Stained, or maybe just worn out? All right, Giselle, pick the next person. Pick the next person. Is he supposed to be able to know that you're pointing at him? His back is turned to you. All right, Tyler. We're on paragraph 3, Graham. All right, Tyler, go ahead.
The room's atmosphere is the voice of
Pretense.
with only the
Essence.
essence of living remaining. Everything has been polished, washed, sat on, used, and scrubbed excessively, leaving no room for anything but the necessities of daily life.
Okay, pick the next person. Her, does her have a name?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The living room also serves as a dining area and is connected to a small kitchen. The kitchen has the only window which provides the family full source of natural light. This window is a symbol of the limited opportunities of resources available to us.
Okay, pick the next person.
Giselle.
A door on the left leads to the bedroom shared by Mama and her daughter. Beneath the wall, another door on the right leads to Walter and Luke's bedroom, which was likely a breakfast room in the past. The apartment's layout reflects the family's cramped living conditions and the need to make the most of limited space.
All right, Giselle, pick the next person. Thank you, Juan.
The clay is such sometimes you may be through the present and to follow soft rise. The scene opens in the early morning with travel to sleep on a makeshift bed in the living room. Ruth enters from the bedroom weary and burdened by life's disappointments.
You can either read the next one or pick someone.
Ruth is a woman in her early 30s who was once exceptionally pretty, but life has taken a toll on her appearance, discipline, etched on her face, and she's on the becoming a settled woman. The term used to describe women who design themselves for the circumstance.
All right, what do you think that means? Disappointment is etched on her face. What do y'all think that means?
Disappointed.
That she's just a disappointment in general.
It's not saying she's a disappointment, it says disappointment is etched in her face, yes. Yeah, but like it's always there. If it's etched in her face, it's like, it never leaves, right? Okay, it's like it's become part of her expression. All right, Luana, pick the